My name's Ken Ulmer and this is Zach Rash, and after the Tow and Go training video that you've watched, we think that there are a lot of frequently asked questions and we want to try to cover those. We're going to ask those questions and then do everything that we can to give you as complete of answers as possible. And remember, if you have any additional questions after the fact, be sure and let your boss know at your company. We'll run those answers back through and we'll be sure and get you some good positive answers.
Do we have to change the tire if they do not have a spare?
No, you do not have to change the tire if they do not have a spare.
Can we change the tire on the freeway and still get paid?
Yes, you can change the tire on the freeway and still get paid. Just be sure and remember to call TransStar and let them know that this is happening. But it is not recommended to change the tire on the freeway.
Right, we always have to remember the goal of this program is a quick clearance goal. When you're on the freeway or the roadway, you and the motorist are in the most danger possible. So if there's any way to load that vehicle, get it off the roadway, and then do those repairs, that is your first priority. Absolutely a last resort to change those tires on the roadway.
Can HPD Mobility authorize tows on the freeway?
HPD Mobility cannot authorize tows on the freeway. Only Harris County MAP, HPD, and Harris County deputies.
It's important to remember the reason for this. State law actually says that a peace officer has to authorize these tows. These tows are always non-consent tows. Any tow done on the Tow and Go program will be a non-consent. And under state law, a peace officer actually has to authorize those. Even though it's being done remotely at TransStar, every one of your tows is actually being authorized by a peace officer.
What if the car is in a grassy area on the side of the freeway? Is that still tow and go?
That is still considered tow and go. The freeways cover anything from inside feeder to inside feeder shoulder.
And this is a really confusing area. A lot of tow truck operators have a lot of questions about this. So remember, if you're imaginary, use your imagination that those two curbs on the service road and everything in between those curbs that's included on Tow and Go. A lot of times the exits and entrance ramps, you have to use your imagination as to where that curb would actually go from side to side, and that entire entrance and exit ramp would be covered within those boundaries as well.
What if the people want to tow at home?
That's more than okay. Just be sure and call TransStar and get them to remove the payment authorization.
Maybe really important to put it in notes also that that's what happened. Always remember that your first line of defense on anything that could happen later is your Tow and Go tow book notes. So when you put that information in notes, it'll remain there, and it can be something that would refresh your memory or would clarify any issue that may come up at a later date.
What if a unit is in a hurry and tells me to hook it up without pictures?
That's fine also. Just be sure and try and get the unit number, and if you can, take pictures off the scene.
Yeah, when you get to a safe area, that's a good opportunity to take those photos. Do remember though that initial photo, sometimes even in the from the actual seat of your truck, starts the time clock for the tow book ticket, and it also stamps the geographical location of where you were. So it's really important to at least snap that picture and make sure that you document everything when you get off the roadway with those photos. Always remember, as we talked about in training, there is no limit to the photos that you can take. It doesn't take up any memory on your phone. They're all stored in Google Photos, and be absolutely sure to take it with your phone in the app, not pull those photos from your actual album in your phone.
What if there are too many people in the vehicle?
If there are too many people in the vehicle, try and wait for an HPD unit, a Harris County officer, a MAP unit, or somebody else from your company to try and help take them off the freeway safely. It's not recommended to tow the car with the people in the vehicle.
Yeah, remember the point of this program is to save people's lives. So we want to make absolutely sure that we keep those consumers from getting hit on a roadway, as well as ourselves and any other first responders that show up.
What if the owner of the vehicle's tow truck shows up before while I'm loading the vehicle?
That's fine also. If their tow truck's there, that's their tow truck, and they can use them. Just be sure and call TransStar and let them know that their own personal tow truck arrived, and put it in notes if you can.
Also, be sure at that point to give the consumer a consumer bill of rights so that if they had any question. Our job as the tow and go provider is to sell the program to every consumer we come in contact with. Let them know how great the program is and that the program's there. There may come a time in the future when they need to use it or somebody else in their family may need to use it.
What if the owner of the car refuses to give a name and phone number for the ticket?
In that instance, be sure and put that they refused in the name slot and then keep it in your notes and then let TransStar know that they refused.
Also, as a driver, this is a great opportunity for you to sell the program and give them some explanation why their phone number might be important. For one, they may get a call at a later date to ask how the service was. They also can contact TransStar and speak to a police officer on the floor if they're very uncomfortable about the situation. Generally, when someone refuses to give you that information, it's because they're not comfortable about the situation. So you may give some thought as to how you presented the program to them initially, some things that you could maybe do to make the consumer more comfortable with it. Remember, our goal out here is to save consumers' lives, make the freeways a better place, let traffic flow better, and to keep first responders out of harm's way. So selling the program is a part of that whole process.
Do I have to tow a 1-ton truck with a stake bed?
No, you do not have to tow a 1-ton truck with a stake bed if it's not safe and you're not able to. At some point it does become a medium duty tow. You just kind of have to use that knowledge that you have and be sure and not do that.
Yeah, because we all know that even normal passenger vehicles could be overloaded to a point that makes it unsafe to tow. So always remember, when you hook up to a vehicle, you're going to be responsible, or your company is going to be responsible for any damage that may occur, whether it be to your vehicle or to the consumer's vehicle. So you have to keep that in mind when you're doing this. As well, you have to be safe. So for you to get off of a roadway, if you don't believe that your brakes are going to operate, or possibly it's very rainy weather or something along those lines, you're going to be responsible in the end. So always keep that in mind.
Do I have to tow a wreck for $60?
No, we're not required to tow wrecks for $60. TransStar will not authorize that tow.
Be sure to remember, if there's something that we haven't covered here or some issue comes up, you can always use the incident form and send that through the process. There is information on it for where to email it to. We'll get you an answer. We'll get back to you specifically, either to your company or to you specifically if you give us some information. Thanks.